So you must have heard the quarterback question a million times already coming in here. It's a very unsettled position. What is your take early on in the first couple weeks?
Well, we've been evaluating really the entire roster, and EJ and Jeff are two guys on the roster, and I think we got some film on both of them, and we're going through it. And I think both of them possess skills to play the position, and I think projecting this or thinking that, I think we're going to really just focus on rolling the balls out on the field and getting our hands on them and working with them and going from there. Everything else really at this point is water cooler talk.
How much do you, as an offensive coach, have in quarterback development? I mean, I know you were an offensive line guy at heart and all that, but do you really get your hands on with the quarterbacks as a coordinator?
Without question. I mean, without question. I think we've got a very capable staff. I'm very excited about. And David Lee will work with them some. I'll work with them some, and we'll go from there. But I'm very much hands-on, really at every position.
When you talk about EJ and evaluating him, what have you seen that you like of his game? Where does he need to improve?
I mean, I'm not going to get into specifics, but I definitely think he's done some very good things and displayed some good traits. He's shown. I'd say we just got to get his level of consistency a little bit greater. And really, I mean, he and everybody else, once we get through this evaluation process, we're going to have a very clean slate once we get going, because what they might have been asked to do or done in the past is really not relevant to what we may or may not ask them to do. And so to sit here and pontificate about this, that, and the other is a little premature.
Rex, when Rex's teams in New York were winning and at their best, they were very good at running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You appear to have that same background and philosophy. How much is the run game going to play a key role here in Buffalo moving forward?
Well, I think we want to build a team that kind of reflects the city of Buffalo, and I think part of that is being smart, tough, and making Buffalo a place that nobody wants to come in December, January, etc. And I think if you can exert your will at the line of scrimmage, it's going to open up a lot of other things in the offense. So to simply say we're just going to run the football, well, nobody simply runs the football, but we want to run the football to a level where people respect and fear us and our ability to do so. That will help everything else in the offense open up, and it'll help us control the game, which is ultimately what we want to do.
We've been here, we've gone through numerous coaches, and a lot of offense coordinators always come out and say, we want to run the football, we want to run the football. Just the level of your commitment to doing that, and I guess maybe we won't know that until we see a full season, but, I'm not saying I'm doubting you, but just, no,
it sounds like doubt to me.
But we've heard it before.
Who have you heard it from? I don't know. Look at my track record. Look at my track record.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, the greatest predictor of future events is past. And I could stand up here and tell you we could have been number one in the league in rushing in San Francisco every year if that was my goal. If I wanted to be number one in rushing, I could have done that. But my goal is to win, and I think you've got to strike a commensurate level of balance to do so in this league. Every game's a little bit different. Some games are going to be real run heavy. Some games, hey, they might put 9 up, etc. And you got to find other ways. And I think we've got some guys in this offense that are here in the building right now on our roster that are going to really thrive with some of the situations they're going to be put in based on how defenses are going to try to play us.
Hey, Greg, obviously Kaepernick out there, the kid who can make big plays with his legs. Now, we don't know what happened, but it seems like watching, you wanted him to stay more in the pocket and not be out and be dangerous. Do you prefer to have your guys stay in the pocket, even with a guy as talented with his legs? Because EJ is a guy that it looked like this team reined him in a little bit when he started, when he got hurt and run out of the pocket. Do you prefer your guy to be in the pocket?
No, I mean, it's play by play, game by game, I mean, I don't agree with your statement that was my intention.
No, I'm just wondering if
But no, it's very. I think you got to have the ability to manipulate the pocket and be in control of the pocket. And if that means vacating the pocket, then you want to vacate. And there's times when you want to simply move around within the pocket. But sometimes you want to do one, sometimes the other. A lot of it is dependent on how the defense plays you. I mean, you don't want to escape the pocket when they got a guy sitting there waiting for you. If they don't, though, you'd like to, wouldn't you? So I mean, it's play by play. It's not a overall philosophy.
Greg, you had interviewed for the head coaching job here. Could you tell me what you took away from that process, and then, given that didn't pan out, what still made Buffalo a good fit for you in this role?
Okay, to answer your first question, my interview with Buffalo, I walked away with one thing, and that was the Pegulas and their commitment towards making a winner in Buffalo. It was very positive on a lot of fronts, and so that's what I took away from it. Now, when Terry and Rex called me up, didn't take a whole lot of cajoling, because Rex is somebody that I have a lot of respect for, and I really feel like I think we've both felt that if we ever got together at some point, it would be pretty good. And B, the passion, the city of Buffalo, you can't manufacture it. It's not something you can just go purchase. It's real. It's at a level that's unlike any other place, really, save one or two. So that's pretty unique opportunity, because that means something to me. And we get this thing going the way we want to. Can only imagine what it's going to be like here in the city of Buffalo. And I think that was big. And I think they've got a very good nucleus of talent on this roster. I think that was also a definite selling point for me.
How much did it also help that you had a previous, at least you had some sort of comfort level with Terry, going back to the Penn State situation? I know he was heavily involved in that, and so it's not as if you're walking in cold. And
yeah. There's a little bit of a relationship there, but I'd never really sat down and met the man and talked in depth with him. So that was a great opportunity to speak with he and Kim and Russ and Doug, and get a feel for what their actual goals were. And it's very important to me that this step in my career was one in lockstep with people at the top of the organization, that their goals were pretty simple and straightforward, that they want to win and build a winner.
Rex and Dennis both mentioned adjusting their scheme to the talent on the roster. How important is that for you on offense, especially with the quarterback situation?
Critical. I mean it's part and parcel with any coaching decision. Whatever we end up being, whatever we end up looking like, is going to be a reflection of what our players can do. And it might look a lot of different ways. Maybe our tight end position gets really beefed up. We like our receiver position. Where does a fullback fit into all this? So it might look a lot of different ways, but ultimately we're going to try to do what our players do well and try to minimize what they don't do well.
Coming from a spot and a head coach that has vast amounts of offensive experience, now you're paired up with a defensive guy by trade. Do you have full autonomy on the offense? Is this your baby?
Yeah, I mean, I had full autonomy at my prior employer, but I don't look at it that way. I look at it as, I know for us to be successful, we've got to be in concert offensively, defensively, and special teams. Now, when I was in San Francisco, nobody did it better than us when it came to that, up until this past year, I would say. But and I understand the importance of that. So I'm in this. This is a partnership, and I am in this thing. I'm sure I'll be running things by Rex and floating things off him. I mean, he's a great football mind. I've always felt that about him. And we're just going to work together. We're all in this thing together, and we're all here to help each other and Buffalo become successfly.
What do you envision Chris Palmer's role being?
I mean, Chris is an invaluable resource. I think he's going to help in all aspects of the offense, be a great support mechanism for all our coaches, and also provide some really good game planning input.
Your impressions of Sammy Watkins?
Very positive leading up to the draft. I thought he had a pretty solid rookie season, and knowing him, from what I've gathered from him, meeting him, was he's just going to look to improve as time goes on. That's what we're looking for, and very excited to work with him.
Hey, Greg, you've worked with both Harbaugh and Rex. I mean, are they both just lunatics when it comes to passion? I mean, have you been around crazier guys than those two?
I mean, in a professional setting, or like in a,
If you want to get off the track, sure.
okay. Now, because I had dinner at the bar around the corner the other night, and there's a couple guys in there that were crazier than them. But no, I mean, I think both those guys are very similar in that regard. Very passionate, very single-minded, and when they wake up every day, they have one purpose, and it's pretty simple. I think there's a lot of similarities there.
CJ Spiller.
Yeah.
Question mark as far as his contract goes. And,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you see how do you see the backfield working out? You've got a veteran guy like Gore in Fred, and where does it go as far as your running back situation goes, and how much value does CJ Spiller have to you?
Well, I think CJ is a dynamic back. I mean, he's a playmaker. He's a pretty versatile guy. He's had a lot of success in this league, and we'll just have to see how it all plays out. It's an exciting process we're going through right now, going through all the personnel. We're all getting inundated into this. I'm not as familiar with the AFC East. We played them a couple of years ago, as some of the Rex and some of those guys are. So I'm playing catch up a little bit. Chrome's playing catch up a little bit. And it's fun. It's exciting, and I'm loving every minute of it. So, it's going to take a little time here, and then we'll all kind of get together and draw the battle plan out.
Is your preference for any particular offensive lineman type when it comes to size? The previous coaching staff went a little more bigger, the one before, maybe a little more mobile.
I want to eat the whole pie. I want guys that are big, strong, fast, can run, can pull, can pass protect, run block. I want it all. I hope that answers your question.
Is your entire staff in place now, or may you still add to it?
For the most part, I can't comment on that, but I really am excited about what we've assembled thus far. We've got a lot of experience. We've got some really good energy, and a group of guys that are selfless, and we're going to work and do this thing together. And that's what it takes. That kind of teamwork.